Good afternoon. My name is Zulema Chavero. I'm an organizer in Somos un Pueblo Unido. We welcome you to this virtual rally. We are pleased to be with you here today. This meeting is organized by Somos un Pueblo Unido in coordination with New Mexico Voices for Children, New Mexico Cafe, Partnership for Community Action, and el Centro de Igualdad y Derechos.
This video will be streaming in English on YouTube. Please click on the link that appears on your screen. También quiero hacerles saber a todo el público que nos acompaña que pueden tomar acción y enviar una petición a sus
legisladores. So you can take action and send a petition to your legislators and to the governor to support our legislation. You can find the link and at somosaccion.org or on our Facebook page. Right now, Gilberto Lopez, a member of the Labor Committee of Somos. Good afternoon. My name is Gilberto Lopez. I'm a member of the Center of Workers, the Worker Center of Somos un Pueblo Unido. This is a community organization of immigrants dedicated to racial justice and to workers' rights in New Mexico. We are looking for new opportunities for leadership for low-wage immigrant workers and to attain political power. We are trying to support policies that help our community. We are active in 8 counties, in Santa Fe, in San Juan, and Workers for Justice in Rio Arriba County, and Chavez, with Somos Chavez, and in Clovis, and in Roswell. And we're in Portales, and Somos Gallup. Year after year, the organizing this is very important for our community, organizing our community. This year is different because we're not physically together, but we remain united in the struggle. We have found our allies, and I'd like to introduce one of them, Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales. I welcome him to speak to us. Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales. And thank you, Gilberto, and thank you for everything that you do. First, I'd like to say that here we are together.
We survived Donald Trump. And we're surviving the coronavirus pandemic, which has been a threat to every single one of us from the onset. The last time that we got together on Immigration Day, never did we know that we would be experiencing the impact that we've had. But it's also good that we're able to be together, even though we can't be in person like we're used to at the Capitol. We're still here together with each other, standing in unity and in solidarity. So I'm grateful for that. And I just want to say that whether you're a citizen or a non-citizen or not a citizen, it's not over yet. We still have much work to do, but we are in this together. And I stand with you. Just as every single year that we fought, whether it's making sure that driver license were going to be available and safe, to making sure that workers' rights are going to be protected. We're always in this together, and I'm so proud to advocate with you. Because to us, we know immigrant families are so important, an integral part of the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our communities all across el estado de Nuevo Mexico. And we also know that when we talk about this pandemic, and the importance of essential workers and what essential workers have meant to our state and our whole country, it's been our immigrants who have been right there, who have been the essential workers, drivers of the economy and important industries within our state. The agriculture, oil, gas, hospitality, food, retail, healthcare. Immigrants are the drivers of small business, as we've seen in this state. And so it's important that when we continue to look and see the important pieces of the state, that we also know that the rural communities have been benefited and have survived in many ways because of our immigrant communities. So we want to continue to promote that. What we've also learned from this terrible pandemic has been that all New Mexicans, regardless of where you were born, must be part of the solution to keep communities safe, healthy, and moving forward. And so what that means is that means all of our immigrant families, all of our immigrants' families must be included in all aspects of COVID-19 support and relief. And we have to make sure that when we look and see at the national level, at the state level, and at the local levels, regardless of immigration status, our state economy depends on you. And our state's economic recovery and public health depend on you as well. So we must make sure that immigrants feel safe, that they have access to essential public health, and that they ensure that they were not going to have by ensuring their status will not be divulged. I think when you look and see in the advocacy that you continue to make and the champions that you have within the legislature, that you continue to build on that. And even though that we may not be able to see everyone in person or see the beautiful yellow shirts that are around the Capitol, you're known across the Capitol, and it's important that you build on that. And so I want to make sure and have you participate. Because many times, whether you lived in Hobbs or if you lived in Las Cruces or you live far away from Santa Fe, you'd have to drive all the way over there to participate in the committee process or to visit with your legislators. I encourage you now to stay involved, and all you have to do is make sure that you can get on the computer, get a Zoom link, make sure that you're heard, because now more than ever, we have accessibility that's there for every single one of you. But I want to say to every one of you tonight that we must not become discouraged. Don't give up, because there's better days ahead. We've had some challenges in the past, and we've survived them. We have challenges currently, and we will survive them. And I know with Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham leading our state and the compassion that she's shown for all of our communities, that'll continue. And we are both here for you. We're not going to turn our backs on you, and we can get through this together, because there's a light ahead, and we see that light ahead of the end of the tunnel is right in front of us. So thank you, Gilberto. Thank you, Sulema. Thank you, all of the organizations who have always been here champions to make sure that we have a voice for immigrant communities and for people all across the state of New Mexico. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor, for your support to our immigrant and working community. Muchas gracias al vicegobernador por el apoyo.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for your support to our immigrant and working community. And now, Javier Rojo, political analyst with New Mexico Voices for Children, analyst and research. He's going to speak of a very important report that speaks of the contribution of immigrant workers in New Mexico. Javier, thank you. Good afternoon.
My name is Javier Rojo, and I'm a research and policy analyst at New Mexico Voices for Children. And we wrote a report to unpack some of the important contributions immigrants make to our state. Can you go to the next slide? We wrote this report for two primary reasons. Number one, we wanted to illustrate that immigrants are an integral part of our community. 1 in 10 New Mexico residents is an immigrant. 8% of our children live in mixed status households. This means that at least one parent is undocumented. I personally come from a community of immigrants. Both of my parents are immigrants from Mexico. Immigrants are our family members. They are our primos, our tias, our tios, our neighbors, our co-workers, our students. Like the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, they are New Mexicans. Secondly, we immigrants make crucial contributions to our economy. They pay their fair share of taxes. And they are business owners and job creators. Next slide. How much do immigrants contribute in taxes? In 2018, the data year we used in the report, immigrants paid nearly $1 billion in federal, state, and local taxes. And this number isn't an outlier. Immigrants paid a similar amount in 2017 and in 2019. And undocumented immigrants who people often assume work under the table and therefore don't pay any taxes, actually pay a significant amount of state taxes. And this is because they purchase local goods and services. And because of that, they pay a sales tax, which collectively adds up to $50 million a year. Immigrants are also homeowners, which means they pay a property tax, which adds up to $13.7 million a year. And a portion of that property tax is used to fund our schools, which means that immigrants help fund our schools. Immigrants that work with ITIN numbers, which are individual taxpayer identification numbers, also pay an income tax, which adds up to about $3.9 million. And immigrants also directly contribute to vital social programs like unemployment insurance. In the past 10 years, immigrants have contributed nearly $58 million to the state unemployment insurance fund. So immigrants pay taxes and they help fund crucial social programs in the state. Next slide. Immigrants are also business owners and job creators. Immigrants are more than twice as likely as native-born citizens to start a business. In New Mexico, there are over 15,000 immigrant entrepreneurs employing over 27,000 New Mexicans. These immigrant-owned businesses have annual sales of about $4.4 billion. Moreover, 45% of undocumented immigrants are homeowners, and those who don't own a home pay more than $232 million in rent. In New Mexico, immigrants have a household income of $4.2 billion and expending power equal to $3.2 billion. In the US and in the state, we have a consumer-based economy. And because immigrants have a significant amount of purchasing power, they help boost our economy. Next slide. So despite all the contributions immigrants make to our state, they were largely excluded from federal relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. And why did that happen? Well, to put it bluntly, because we had a racist xenophobe in the White House. But I digress. In the absence of federal policy, we think the state should step in and mitigate this moral inequity. So I'll briefly mention some of the policies that I think will help us do this, and I think some of the panelists will elaborate further on them. So number one, build on local state programs that provide economic relief to those left out of the federal COVID-19 relief programs. Number two, expand the working families tax credit to include taxpayers filing with an ITIN number. Number three, increase the state's low-income comprehensive tax rebate, or LICTR, and index it to the rise with inflation. Number four, ensure that all workers can earn paid sick leave. Number five, ensure access to healthcare and COVID-19 services regardless of immigration status. Number six, protect the sensitive personal information of every New Mexican through strong confidentiality policies. And lastly, plan for a cleaner, more diverse economy that includes all New Mexican workers and families. And with that, that concludes my presentation. Thank you all for your time. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Javier.
Many thanks, Javier, for that very important report to inform our community and our leaders. Next, our colleague Alma Hernandez, member of Allied Families for Justice, will speak of a bill to prohibit state employees from disclosing confidential personal information of New Mexicans. Good afternoon or good evening. I'm Alma Hernandez. I'm part of Families United for Justice We're in San Juan County. Our legislative priority is Senate Bill 72 that will assure a standard policy of protecting personal information that is shared among state agencies. Information such as immigration status, and to adopt a non-disclosure policy. New Mexicans will not have to think twice before accessing public services, and including state programs, state vaccination, and other COVID-19 programs in San Juan County. The fear is constant because for more than a decade, an immigration agent is sharing information with the San Juan County Sheriff's Office and the state police and the probation office. They have called the local sheriff's office to disclose immigration information, which has been a constant source of fear to us and our children. But we are not remaining silent, and we have organized ourselves. We have been sharing our stories with local police agencies and political leaders so that they do not share our information. And likewise, we have united our voices with our other families in the state. Arriving to this moment, state political leaders have heard us and now are working to advance these SB 72 and HB 24 during this legislative session. It is a pleasure for me to meet the sponsors of these bills. On behalf of the Immigrant Workers Bill, Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez, who's the sponsor of HB 124. And in the name of my community, many thank you for hearing us and advancing these proposals that come from the people. Welcome.
Muchas gracias.
Many thanks.
¿También o nomás yo?
Or am I the only one here? Oh, and Representative Miguel Garcia is the other bill sponsor.
Creo que nada más usted, Senador.
I think it's just you, Senator.
Bueno, aquí
Okay, here I am.
Pues me da mucho gusto estar aquí.
I'm very pleased to be here with you. I'm very pleased. I'm going to try to explain our legislation in English because it's easier for me, because all the explanations I've given have been in English. So I'm going to switch to English right now.
SB 85 and HB 125, the bills are about sensitive personal information. And what they will do is they will prevent any employer in any state agency from divulging personal information, including social security number, immigrant status as LGBTQIA. This is very important because we need people to feel comfortable that when you go to the motor vehicle department, when you pay your taxes, when you do anything with the state, that your personal and sensitive information will not be shared. Right now, the bill has passed one committee. The Senate Bill 75, which is my bill, has passed one committee, and House Bill 124, which is Miguel Garcia's bill, I believe has passed one committee, and it's on its way to the next, and then going to the floor. What this means is the bills are both well on their way. I am concerned a little bit about how some of the senators and maybe perhaps in the House want to amend these bills. I believe that the amendment by Senator Daniel Ibisote was well-intentioned, but there has been a lot of work on this bill by you, by Gabriela Guzman, and by Marcela Diaz. For years, they have been working on this bill, and they have worked them out so that they are so well crafted. But we are working with the senators to make sure that the bill goes forward as we would like to see it, to protect the sensitive information. I would be happy to answer any questions about these bills. If anybody, if you want to raise your hand, or no sé, Alma, si quieres ver si hay preguntas. No hay. Oh, 10. Okay. Veo aquí que no hay preguntas. Solema?
So there are no questions?
No solo quería agradecer.
No, I just wanted to thank you for your fine words in the name of our community. Once again, we thank you for being one of our champions, and we applaud you from all parts of New Mexico. So I send a big hug to all of you because I'm working for you. Many thanks. Many thanks. Thank you very much, Senator. Good evening. Good evening. And after that talk from Senator Antoinette Cedillo Lopez, we're going to continue with members Clarice Corbelo and Marta Reyes from the Centro de Igualdad y Derechos. They're going to inform us about HB 42, the paid sick leave bill for low-income families. Low-income comprehensive tax rebate, excuse me.
Si están presentes, Clarice Corbelo y Marta Reyes.
Clarice Corbelo and Marta Reyes from the Centro de Igualdad y Derechos. Marta? I'm here. I'm waiting for my colleague before starting. Well, do you hear me?
Hola.
Hello, hello.
Hola.
Aquí le escuchamos, adelante.
Okay, go ahead.
Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es
Good evening. My name is Clarice Curvelo, and I'm a mother and grandmother, and I'm a home care worker, and I'm a member of the Centro de Organización y Derechos, a organization that fights for justice for immigrant families in Albuquerque. We have 5,500 members. I come from a country with a culture in which we support each other, and I am proud to be a member of this organization where we fight for the common good and well-being of everybody. I am Marta Reyes. I'm a wife and mother of 3 children, and I'm very proud of being a home care worker. And I'm a member of El Centro de Igualdad, and I've always fought for my family and the community, going out into the street, knocking on doors, so that people who can vote do so. We are moved to be in solidarity with immigrant leaders all throughout the state in this day of action. Low-wage workers play a vital role in the New Mexico economy. As workers and taxpayers and as consumers, we are proud of our contributions. We find ourselves now on the front line, considered essential workers who respond actively to the needs of the nation while we are dealing with the pandemic. We are considered essential workers, but we are treated as disposable. That is not in accord with New Mexico values. During pandemic, economic and racial inequality has been felt in New Mexico and in the nation. We have to take immediate steps to guarantee that everyone, that economic relief and tax credits are proportional to the contributions of our community so that all New Mexicans can prosper. All of us are fighting for a more inclusive economy. Marta, we are proud of representing essential workers because they help to maintain, to keep our state going. And we need the protections that we deserve. So we are supporting a tax reform, starting with a tax credit for low-income workers. This would be a direct step to put money in the pockets of working families, helping to stimulate the local and state economy. And the bills would do away with discriminatory practices that are present now, helping New Mexico families who pay their taxes with ITINs, the same, and that they'd be treated the same as any other family. I'm proud of being a New Mexican Honduran. Contributions of immigrants are not all limited to the economy, but there are also cultural. And that's why today I'm here raising my voice, inviting the community to join our local organizations so that together we can be listened to, because the more we unite, the more strength we will have to advance our rights and get the rights that we deserve. So we're going to read. Let's see if those here can help us. We are not 100. We are 100 million. Sometimes we are not one. We are not 100. We are 11 million, and we're strong. The New Mexico Capitol is our house during this legislative session. Not only have I been able to share my story and speak of bills, but also I've taken the time to call my legislators so that they support bills. I invite you to do the same thing. I challenge all working families in Albuquerque and New Mexico, and all home care workers and construction workers, and those of us who work in restaurants and hotels and housewives, to call and involve themselves so that our representatives vote for laws that protect us and provide the benefits that we deserve and that are so necessary for our community. And finally, I am very pleased to introduce a champion of the immigrant community who has always fought for our rights, Representative Javier Martinez. Go ahead. Many thanks. Many thanks for the work that you keep doing after so many years. As I am a member of our community, my parents came here from Ciudad Juarez, and they brought me here as a little boy, like many of you. And here we grew up, and we made a life here, we made careers here. And now it's up to us to give back to our community the same contributions that we've received. First of all, I'd like to thank all the organizations that keep organizing and exercising their power in the legislative process in their cities and in their counties, but also in Santa Fe. Obviously, we pass laws that are important for our community here. The bills that we have to reform the tax system in New Mexico, these are far-reaching bills and these are ideas that came from you that we want to develop in the 40 or so days that remain in the legislative session, so that we can have a tax system that's more equitable, a tax system that and sometimes I get stuck. that values the work of our families, the labor of people who clean houses, who fix cars, who work in construction, in the hotels, in the restaurants, and even more in this time that's so difficult for our community. Our bills, like HB 42, for example, that aims to raise the level of income to qualify for the rebate on taxes. It exists now, but at very low level. You just either you earn $22,000 a year or you don't qualify. And if you earn more, no. And we have another couple of bills, the Working Families Bill, families who have small children in their houses and who work and who generate income. For each child, we want to give a credit, an additional credit, apart from the credit in HB 42. And this credit was raised 2 years ago from 10% to 17%. But unfortunately, that credit, but unfortunately, workers who pay their taxes with ITINs don't qualify. That's an injustice. We want to fix that for our families who are working. They are not being given the opportunity. And finally, and this is not on the agenda, but I would like to mention tomorrow in the House of Representatives, we're going to debate a bill H-JR1, and this would be a redistribution of the permanent fund, which is now at $22 billion, and we would just want to take a little bit of that to invest in early education for all our children. This is a proposal that's been around for 10 years, and every year we lose in the Senate. But now that the Senate has changed, we're this close to it being passed. Tomorrow around 10 or 11, we're going to debate that historic bill in the House of Representatives. And we hope that you can be there with us on Zoom channels and Facebook and all these channels. And with that, the last thing I have to say is, in my work, I came to the legislature through this work, and more than 10 years ago, we were there with Somos, El Centro, and it seems to me New Mexico Cafe wasn't around yet, or was just sort of starting, but we were fighting for driver's licenses, and nobody was listening to us, neither the Republicans or the Democrats. We were all by ourselves. That was one of the first fights we had, and that we won after so many years. And look at this, 10 years later, we're not here so that they don't take away our driver's license. We're fighting for a more just tax system, that the finance system in New Mexico be fairer, not just for us as immigrants, but for all working people in New Mexico. That's how far we've come as a community. And this is just the beginning. Bigger things are coming. Better things are coming. Thank you for keeping on organizing. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for your bravery, your discipline. Thank you for your fight. It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Many thanks to one of our champions, and not just for the tax credit, but as you told a story, he has been with us a long time with our immigrant and working communities. We send a big virtual applause to Representative Javier. And now, Viviana Arciniega, a member of New Mexico Communities in Action Cafe, who will speak about HB 20, paid sick leave. Go ahead, Viviana.
No
I can't turn on my camera, but many thanks to everybody. I am Viviana Arciniega. I'm a leader with New Mexico Cafe. I've been, I'm 24 years old, and I'm the oldest daughter of 6 kids, and I'm a DACA recipient. I work in recipient, and paid sick leave is very important for me because there are many families like mine who belong to the working class, so that we shouldn't have to go to work when we're sick, and we have to choose between earning a check or taking care of our health and our family's health. This bill would allow me to take care of my health and other people's health when it's without stressing myself about having to pay my day-to-day bills. To get ahead today on Immigrants Day, I'm very proud to be here representing my community, my undocumented community. We deserve paid sick leave because we belong to this state, because we have families who depend on us, and because we are fighting every day for ourselves and for the well-being of our families. I am an immigrant. We are immigrants. We came to this country for a better future because we have dreams and we want to better ourselves. So I thank all of you who are fighting with us to keep going for a better tomorrow. For now, I can't vote, but I am very proud that my representative, Angelica Rubio, for whom I would vote in the future if I can, is at the head, is sponsoring this legislation and is representing our people, as well as Senator Linda Lopez. They are both real champions who are fighting, always keeping our experiences and our testimony in mind. Many thanks, and now I invite Representative Rubio and Senator Lopez to speak. Thank you, Viviana. Good night, good evening to everybody who are here right now. I'm very proud to be here, and I'm very proud to having been introduced by Viviana, of whom I'm so proud. I'm so happy to see her right now. I am Angelica Rubio. I represent District 35 here in Las Cruces, and I'm very proud to be able to represent all of you and all of the organizations representing all of them to work and to get a paid sick leave bill passed. For many of you, this process began, which HB 38, you were part of that work in the months before we came to the legislature this year. And for now, where we are today, HB 37 has been turned into HB 20 in order to assure that it keeps going forward. And I am very hopeful that HB 20 will keep going through the House of Representatives and the Senate. As Representative Martinez said, a lot has changed there in this last year in the Senate. It's become more progressive, and I feel that HB 20, paid sick leave, is going to become a reality for all of us. I guarantee you that for me and all of us are going to be represented in this new law, and I hope that you keep fighting, because we're going to have a lot of work to do in the next, there's only 40 days left for the legislative session, and I hope that you stand with us every day fighting for this, for HB 20, and to get it to the governor's desk so that she signs it and makes it a law. So again, I am very grateful to be here with you, and I'm very grateful to work with Representative Christine Chandler and with Senator Linda Lopez. And I would like to introduce her now. She is also working, fighting for us in the Senate. Thank you, Representative, and good evening to everybody. I'm Linda Lopez. I'm Senator here in District 11 here in Albuquerque. And I'm pleased to be with you here tonight. And Immigrant Day is always always a happy day. We all have roots in Mexico, and we all feel part of both countries. My grandparents crossed here and to Texas many years ago, but my roots are in Mexico as well. So happy Immigrants Day. I'm happy to work with Representative Rubio. As I always say, the work that we do in our communities is important, but we need to have the right way of supporting our families. The bill that Representative Rubio and Representative Chandler and in the House and in the Senate, we have a bill that's more or less the same. We don't have it in front of a committee yet, but it'll be there next week. But here we are. What you are doing to educate us in Santa Fe, I really admire what you're doing. You have to keep organizing and continuing your work, and stay in touch with us. Call us, send us mail. We are here to work for you and with you. And we are here fighting with you. And thank you for bringing me here. And I'm happy to work with you and for you. Thank you. In the name of all our immigrant and working community, I would like to thank and strong applause for our legislative champions, for paid sick leave. Thank you, Representative Rubio and Senator Lopez. And now Gladys Salcedo, a member of Somos Lee County and a member of CAFE, is going to share information about HB 9, the clean energy translation, clean and fair energy transition law. I am Gladys Salcedo. I'm a member of Somos Lee County. HB 9 is the bill for fair and clean transition to clean energy. This would assure the survival of our communities. We know that little by little, oil production is going to diminish, and this bill would develop other forms of work. Our community works in this industry. We cannot change the world, but yes, we can change the city where we live, making it a healthier place with safer work in clean energy. We want to keep living in our communities that we have strengthened through our work and our struggle. Oil field workers and their families, we deserve a fair solution. HB 9 consists in brave measures to fight climate change and create educational opportunities and work opportunities for our families to assure a future for the new generations. Thank you. Thank you, Gladys.
My name is Nena Benavides. I'm the community organizer for Café Acción from Grant County, New Mexico. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm here to speak on behalf of HB 9. As a lifelong member of a community dependent solely on mining, I see HB 9 as a matter of life and death for the future existence of my community. It is imperative that we look to our future job diversification while honoring the mining traditions that all of our families deeply appreciate. We can honor these roots while looking to the future and ensuring the existence of our Southwest mining communities. HB 9 is the culmination of many voices of many people of rural communities that are often forgotten as we live outside the line of the state that divides us at Socorro. Our communities deserve job diversification and the educational training that would accompany these jobs. I would invite you to join us in educating yourself about HB 9 and in support of this important piece of legislation for all families of New Mexico. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our amazing champion for HB 9, Angelica Rubio, to speak to us further about this. Thank you, Representative Rubio.
Thank you, Nena. I appreciate all of your work. And muchas gracias a todos que están aquí.
And thank you for everybody who's here. Once again, HB 9 is it's a policy on which we've been working for several years. HB 9, it's a vision that many in our community have had, and now we're working and we're now able to make it a reality. For those who don't know, I was born in Roswell, and I grew up in the little town of Lake Arthur, where most of my family still live, and most of my family are still working in the oil industry. So for me, this HB 9 is something very personal, because although I'm working hard to protect our planet and our climate, this is very important to me. But we have to, at the same time, not forget our communities who need to see that we have a transition. It's not just to just go ahead with a green economy, but a new economy in New Mexico. Our community is resilient. We're a community that's always been able to navigate change and adjust and get ahead, even though the system tells us that we can't. These are the industries that we have in New Mexico, although they limit us sometimes. We know that we're going to prosper in the future, especially with the support that we are getting to support our families. And HB 9 is going to allow us to get ahead even more. I am very honored to be able to carry this bill for you, for Somos, Café, and various other organizations, El Centro, that have been fighting hard for this vision. And I hope that HB 9 becomes a law in the next couple of months after the governor signs it. So many thanks to all of you, and I hope that we're all fight together for a state for a better state and a fairer state for all of us New Mexicans like you and me. So thank you and good evening. Many thanks, Representative Rubio, for the great work that you're doing to support our immigrant community and for the work designed to achieve justice for working families. And now I'd like to remind you that you can take action sending a petition to your legislators or to the governor to support these bills. Before ending this video, my colleague will tell you how to fill out the petition, and you can find the link on the Facebook page. And now, Maria Reina Tercero, member of the Workers' Center of Somos Un Pueblo Unido, will have a last message for you. Go ahead.
Sí, ya estoy, no estoy en la cámara. ¿Aló?
Hello?
Sí,
Go ahead.
sí. Buenas tardes.
Good evening.
Mi nombre es María.
I am Maria Reina Tercero. I'm a member of the I'm a member of the Workers' Committee of Somos Un Pueblo Unido. The pandemic has reminded us of that we are essential workers and we need our rights to be recognized. This bill is designed above all to give the working community what it deserves and needs. I invite all our community to participate so that these policies that affect our daily life will pass. I would like to recognize and thank all the state officials who have demonstrated that they're here to protect workers' rights. Many thanks to all of you. Thank you, Reina, for your final words.
That this video is available in English on YouTube. Y a toda nuestra comunidad les invitamos a que tomen acción y envíen esas peticiones a sus legisladores y a la gobernadora para que nos apoye. Es muy fácil. Me gustaría
So I would like to remind you that we're going to see two ways of taking action, one for legislators and one for the governor. You can find them at www.somosaccion.org or on the Facebook page. This slide that you see is the action page. You can see the two options there. It's in English and Spanish. And then you have to go down below, put your name, your middle name and your last name, your address, zip code, city, and county, email, and phone number. And the rest is written ahead of time about all the bills we've been talking about so that you can send it directly to legislators and the governor so that you don't have to worry about writing something yourself. The next page. And at the end, so many thanks for tuning in, and we'll be seeing each other soon. Many thanks.
Muchas gracias a todos.
Thank you to everybody.